Hello everyone. In the previous class, we have started black box testing. Now we will see the definition of black box testing. Black box testing is done without the knowledge of the internals of the system under test. Means here we are not going to test the program code here, just we are going to check the external functionality of the product. This is the black box testing. In today's class, we will discuss the black box testing techniques. Within this, first one we will see the requirement based testing. First we will see the definition of requirement based testing. What is meant by requirement based testing? Requirements testing deals with validating the requirements given in the software requirement specification of the software system. Here requirement based testing it's dealing with the validating, that is verifying the requirements given in the SRS, that is system requirement specification of the software system. This is called as the requirement based testing. Here requirements are classified into two types: explicit requirements and the implicit requirements. Here explicit requirements are stated and documented as part of the requirement specification. Means these requirements are given by the customers and you are going to document these requirements are called as the explicit requirements. Then what is meant by implicit or implied requirements? Implicit or implied requirements are those that are not documented but assumed to be incorporated in the system. I will repeat, implied or implicit requirements are those that are not documented but assumed to be incorporated in the system. Means here these requirements, that is implicit requirements, are not given by the customers. Here the tester should assume these requirements. This is called as the implicit requirements. What is SRS? In the SRS, the full form is System Requirement Specification. Here the SRS is a document which we are going to prepare in the first phase, that is requirement collection phase. Here SRS, within this the requirements are given by the customer. Those requirements are collected and documented are called as SRS. Now we will see the difference in between the explicit and implicit. Explicit requirements are given by the customers, means SRS. What is implicit? Implicit requirements are not given by the customers. These are assumed by the testing team. See here, all explicit requirements and implicit requirements are collected and documented as test requirement specification. This means by test requirement specification, all explicit requirements and implicit requirements are collected and documented as test requirement specification. This is also called as TRS. In exam they may ask for 2 marks. What is the difference between TRS and SRS? As I told previously, SRS is system requirement specification. These are given by the customers. Means explicit requirements are called as the SRS, and TRS means combinedly, that is implicit as well as explicit requirements are collected and documented as TRS, test requirement specification. For 2 marks they may ask the full form of SRS and TRS. SRS is system requirement specification and TRS is test requirement specification. Now we will see what is meant by requirement traceability matrix. Here all the requirements, that is explicit requirements as well as implicit requirements are tracked by a requirement traceability matrix. This is called as the RTM. Requirements are tracked by a requirements traceability matrix, that is RTM. And RTM traces all the requirements from their genesis through design, development and testing. Here the RTM, that is requirement traceability matrix, is going to trace all the requirements from the first phase itself. that from the SDLC phase, that is designing, part, developing and testing. From all the phases we are going to trace the requirements with the help of the RTM, that is requirement matrix. Now we will see one example. As we have seen the example of the lock and key, we will take the same example, that is requirement based testing, the lock and key example. We will see what are the requirements for the lock and key example and what are the priorities for those. As you can see in the slide, see here, the table contains the first column is requirements identifier. The identifiers are the requirements are identified with the help of the BR means here black box testing requirement, black box testing requirement 1, black box testing requirement 2, like this. Then the description of the particular requirements and the priority. We will see the first one, PR01 means here black box testing requirements 1, black box requirements testing 1. What is the description here? Inserting the key numbered 1 2 3 4 5 6 and turning it clockwise should facilitate locking. For every lock there is a key. That key is having a specific number. When you insert that specific key, then only it will unlock. It may lock or it may unlock by using that specific key only. If you are using other keys, that is other key number, then it will not lock or unlock. That's why you should use the specific key, lock either unlock. If you turn it clockwise, then it will lock. If you turn it anti-clockwise, then it will unlock. See here, the first one is we are going to insert a specific key. That key number is 1 2 3 4 5 6 and we are turning it to clockwise. When you turn it clockwise, it should lock. When it is locking, then the priority is high here. And the second requirement, what is the black box testing requirement 2? Here we are inserting the key numbered 1 2 and turning it anti-clockwise should facilitate unlocking. Means what we are going to do, we are using the specific key. That key number is 1 2 3 4 5 6. When you turn it clockwise, it will lock. When you turn it anti-clockwise, it will unlock. See here, we are going to turn it anti-clockwise, means the priority is high. Here we are unlocking the clock, means the priority is high. Now we will see the third one. Number 1 2 3 4 5 6 can be used to lock and unlock. It is, if you are using the specific key number, then only it will lock or unlock. If you are using the other key number, it's not going to lock or unlock. That's why the priority is high here. Next we will see the fourth requirement. No other object can be used to lock. Means other than the specific key, it's no other objects are used to lock. Means the priority is medium here. See here, you can use the other thing like hairpin, you can use the wire, a piece of wire you can use, lock or unlock. When you are using these one, means here the priority is medium. No other object can be used to lock. And similarly the next one is no other object can be used to unlock. Both the priorities are medium, because here we using the other objects like hairpins, or to unlock the, we may use the stone to break the particular one. That's why it is a medium priority. Next, the sixth one is the lock must not open even when you hit with a heavy object. See here, the lock must not open, means your lock should not open even when you hit with an heavy object. Heavy object means it may be a stone or any other heavy object. This is also having the medium priority because you are using only specific key. That's why. Next, seventh one is the lock and key must be made up of metal and must weigh approximately 150 grams. Here we are not going to weight any lock and key, right? Just we are locking and unlocking. here weight is not compulsory, weight of the lock and weight of the key. That's why it is having the low priority. The lock and key must be made up of metal and must weigh approximately 150 grams. Here we are not checking the which type of metal they have used and what is the weight of the lock and key. That's why it is having low priority. And next is eighth requirement is lock and unlock directions should be changeable for usability of left-handers. See here, for left-handers also the locking and unlocking system is same. That is, for locking you have to turn clockwise and for unlocking you have to turn anti-clockwise. The directions will not change for the left-handers. That's why it is having also low priority. These are the sample requirement specification for lock and key system. Now we'll see the sample requirement traceability matrix, that is RTM, requirements traceability matrix. It is mainly used for tracing purpose. See here, the first three columns are same. See the previous slide, the requirement identifier, description and priority. See the first one, requirement identifier, description and priority. These three columns are same in the previous next slide also. You can see here the requirement ID, description and the priority. The new ones are test conditions, test case IDs and phase of testing. Here what is meant by test condition? Here test condition column list the different ways of testing the requirements. It will list the different ways of testing the requirements, means it contains the conditions by which we can test the requirements. Then test case ID, this column can be used to complete the mapping between test cases and the requirement. Here test case ID column can be used to complete the mapping between the test cases and the requirement. Test case IDs should follow naming conventions. Here we are going to use some naming conventions like lock underscore 001. This is the first test case ID. Next test case is lock underscore, follow some naming convention here. Next is phases of testing. Which phase of testing we are going to use? Here either we need to use unit testing, component testing, integration testing, system testing, acceptance testing. Like this we are going to divide it based on. Here the first one is we are going to insert the specific key, that is the key number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we are turning it clockwise for the locking purpose. As I told, it is having the high priority. And what is the condition here? We are using the key numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 only, and it is the specific key, and test case ID is 1 here, and here is unit and component. In the same way, second one, here we are going to use the same specific key, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we are turning it anti-clockwise. When you turn it anti-clockwise, it will unlock the lock, and it is also having a high priority. Next, here the same condition we are going to apply, because to lock and unlock we are going to use the same, that is 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6. Next test case ID is 2 here. Next we can do the same, that is unit and at the same phase we can do the testing here. That's why at the phase of unit testing and component testing we are going to do the testing. Next, third one is, here we are going to use the specific key, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, either to lock and unlock. That's why it is having the high priority. And here we are using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to unlock, as well as the same key is used to lock and unlock. And here we are dividing these two test conditions as two test case IDs, that is 3 and 4. At the In the same way, the fourth one is no other object can be used to unlock. Means you are not using the hairpin or a piece of wire to unlock. That's why it is having the medium priority. Next, you can see the test condition here. Use the key numbered different one, 7, 8, 9, where you are not using the other numbered key, and you are not using the hairpin, and you are not using the screwdriver to open the lock. Here we are conditions. That's why here the three test case IDs, that is 5, 6 and 7, and here we are doing this testing at the integration level. Next, the same thing, but here we are using this for unlocking, and it is also having the medium priority, and we are using the same test conditions, and three test conditions we are going to use. That's why three test case IDs, and this one also we are doing at the integration level. And the sixth one is the lock must not open even when it is hit with an heavy object. This is the sixth requirement, and it is also having the middle priority. Condition means you can use the stone to break the lock. This is the condition. This is the condition here, and that one we are going to use. That's why the test case ID is lock 11. Then we are going to do this at the system testing level. And the seventh one is the lock and key must be made up of metal and must be weigh approximately 150 grams. Here these are very low. We are not checking the type of metal, and we are not going to weight the lock and key. That's why it is a low priority. And the next point is for test condition is here to weight that lock and key, we need to use the weighing machine. This is the condition. That's why test case ID is 12 here, and we are also doing at the system level. And the last, that is eighth one, is lock and unlock directions changed for usability of left-handers. This is very low priority because for left-handers also the same directions are used, that is clockwise and anti-clockwise directions are used for locking and unlocking. That's why there will be no test conditions, no test case IDs, and the phase of testing is not dead. All this is about requirement based testing. See, requirement based testing tests the project's compliance, means project proposal or demand to the requirement specifications. That's why test case, that is requirements based testing, is used to test the product's compliance. Then that is what is the durability of the product, that is the demand of the product. Test based on the requirements testing. We will see the positive and negative testing in the next session. Thank you.